In the left hand. When my son was 10 years old, he caught a cold and was hospitalized. There was a girl in the first year of junior high school staying in the next room. She kept walking back and forth around the room and was shooed away by the patients and scolded by the nurses. According to a nurse, she had already recovered from her sickness, but was reluctant to be discharged, saying, "My stomach hurts." The girl often visited my son and cheered him up and adjusted the position of the ice bag on his forehead. Though she was a nice-looking girl, she seemed afraid of something. There was fear in her eyes. She always carried a small piece of folded paper in her left hand. One day, a middle-aged woman who stayed in the opposite room came to us and talked about the girl. According to her, the girl's father had failed in his business 3 years earlier and abandoned the family in the middle of the night. And sadly, 6 months later, her mother disappeared with a man she had met at a bar and left her daughter alone. Although she went to live with her grandmother, she did not want to return home because her grandmother bullied her. When my wife and I returned to the hospital, the girl used to say to us, "I will take care of the boy during your absence, so please go home and relax." She took care of my son and helped him with his meals. The night before my son was released from the hospital, the girl showed my wife the piece of paper she always carried and said, "Please call this number." It was the telephone number of her mother who had left home with the man that she had met. She said that she had called the number once, but she had been yelled at, so she could not call it again. My wife called the number, which was a number in the Kansai area. After it rung, a voice answered saying, "The number you have called is not in service." When she dialed it again, she got the same message. When she hung up the phone and explained to her what had happened, she pleaded, almost crying, and said, "Please try once more, only once more, please." The same thing happened when she called a third time. She looked down, gripping the paper again, and teardrops flowed from her eyes. 10 years later, I went to the hospital for a liver examination. The girl was still there. She had become a nurse because of the kindness of the hospital director.